And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host Kenneth Grunfelder, and it's great to have you guys here on this Friday, June 21st. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. Before I get into that, just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate, get your comments recognized, make sure to go to the following link. That is GSMCPodcast.net. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is GSMCPodcast.net. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker at the bottom of the show segment down below. So with that being said, let's get into what we are going to talk about on the show today. So we're going to start off the show. We're going to talk about the preseason schedule, just kind of go through it, the matchups. Again, I mean, it's preseason, and of course, as I'm saying that, my camera decides to turn off on me like that. So yeah, we'll go through the preseason schedule. We'll talk about that. Then in the second part of the show, I'll continue my schedule breakdown. So we're in the AFC North currently. The last 2 days we talked about the Ravens schedule, the Bengals schedule. Today we will be doing the Cleveland Browns schedule. So I'll go over that, give you my early win-loss predictions for them. Then in the third part of the show, we'll talk about Ramondre Stevenson, the running back for the New England Patriots, getting a new contract. So I'll talk about that a little bit. Just kind of go through his career stats, what that means for the Patriots going forward. Then in the fourth part of the show, we'll talk about some comments made by Steelers general manager Omar Khan, just on the quarterback situation. So we'll get into that as well. And then in the final part of the show, we'll talk about Trevor Lawrence's recent comments after his contract extension that he got with the Jaguars. So that's the rundown for the show. So let's get into the first topic, which is discussing the preseason schedule. So I know this has been out for a while, but I didn't really cover it. And of course, it's preseason. We went through the regular season. I went through all the primetime games, and I'm currently going through each team's individual schedules right now. But we didn't really go through the preseason schedule. So I just wanted to touch upon it. And like I said, it's preseason. These games don't mean anything. I mean, they mean things for players that are trying to make the team, of course, and for the first, for the first team to maybe get some snaps in the second game, the dress rehearsal. But yeah, for all of us, we're not that excited for preseason. I mean, I guess just because it'll be football and it'll be back soon, because it's a little less than 2 months away. So the first game is on August 1st at 8 p.m. on ESPN and ABC, which is actually interesting because this is the Hall of Fame game, of course. Because usually this game is on NBC, but that's not the case. It's on ESPN and ABC, and it's the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears, who will be facing each other in Week 2 of the NFL season. And with these two teams, I think the Texans have higher expectations than the Bears, but I think the Bears do have some expectations going into this year because of all the moves that they made this offseason. Now you have Caleb Williams as your starting quarterback. And then with the Texans, all the moves that they made, getting Stephon Diggs on offense. So yeah, there's some expectations for these teams going into the season, and they'll be playing each other. And I mean, I loved what the Texans did this offseason. I love what the Bears did this offseason. So I mean, I think when these two teams match up, I mean, we could see a lot of points being scored. So I'm looking forward to that Week 2 matchup. But this is what officially gets us started in the NFL season. The Hall of Fame game, it'll be these two teams. So that's on August 1st. Then on Thursday, August 8th, you have the Panthers and the Patriots. Now, like I said, when it comes to preseason, when it comes to the first team, you're not going to see, the first team get, for the dress rehearsal, you're probably going to see maybe, some of the stars play. But in the first preseason game, you're not really going to see a lot of starters, get reps. So, with the Panthers and the Patriots, I mean, I'm guessing Andy Dalton's going to get some snaps. Maybe we'll see Jacoby Brissett play for the Patriots. Well, actually, I mean, who knows? Maybe we do see Bryce Young and Drake May. Maybe the Patriots want to get Drake May some reps here. Well, Drake May might not even be starting week 1, so maybe he gets some game action here. So that's on August 8th. So we're still on week 1 here. So then the following day, you got the Falcons and the Dolphins, the Texans at the Steelers, the Eagles at the Ravens, which a couple of regular season matchups in there. Actually, no, the Steelers I don't think are playing the Texans, but they are playing. The Eagles and the Ravens are playing, so that's later in the season, so that'll be an exciting matchup. But yeah, so they'll be playing on Friday, August 9th. And let's see if the Ravens can start another winning streak in the preseason, because that got snapped last year. Then the following day, the Bears will be taking on the Bills. This is Saturday, August 10th. You got the Seahawks and the Chargers, the Packers and the Browns, the Buccaneers and the Bengals, and then the Chiefs and the Jaguars. And then the following day, on Sunday, August 11th, the Broncos and the Colts, and then the Cowboys and the Rams. And then you got the Raiders and the Vikings, the Lions and the Giants, the Commanders and the Jets, and then the 49ers and the Titans. So that's week 1. Then week 2, we got the Eagles and the Patriots, so they get us started. Then the Falcons and the Ravens, Giants and the Texans, Bengals and the Bears, Cardinals and the Colts, Lions at the Chiefs, Rams at the Chargers, Jets at the Panthers, Vikings at the Browns, Commanders at the Dolphins, Bills at the Steelers, and then the Buccaneers at the Jaguars. And then you have Panthers at Broncos, Saints at 49ers, which will be on Fox. That's Sunday, August 18th. And then the Cowboys and the Raiders, and the Seahawks and the Titans. And then for the final week of the preseason, you got the Bears and the Chiefs, Colts at the Bengals, which will be on Prime. So this is Thursday, August 22nd. August 23rd, you got the Jaguars at the Falcons, Dolphins at the Buccaneers. And Saturday, August 24th, Rams at Texans, Chargers at Cowboys, Ravens at Packers, Vikings at Eagles, Browns at Seahawks. And then you got the Cardinals at the Broncos, and then which is on CBS. And then you got the Patriots at the Commanders, which is on NBC. So those two teams will be getting the Sunday night game just in the preseason. And then the final few games here, Panthers at the Bills, Steelers at the Lions, 49ers at the Raiders, Titans at the Saints, and then the Jets at the Giants, or Giants at Jets. But they play in the same stadium, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, the Giants will be the away team. But most of these games actually will be airing on NFL Network. So, and they'll probably have replays of the games if there's certain guys that you want to pay attention to. But yeah, it's just something I wanted to go over because again, I know I went over the primetime games for the regular season. I'm going through the schedule breakdowns, but I didn't go through the preseason. So, like I said, the Bears and the Texans will get us started, and they'll be matching up against each other in week 2. So looking forward to that. But yeah, like I said, we are a little under 2 months before, or a little over a month before the preseason starts, because we're almost in July. So you got training camp coming up, and then preseason after that, and then we got the regular season. So it's a lot to look forward to in the coming months. But yeah, again, we're not really going to see. I mean, this week 2 is going to be the dress rehearsal, and then week 3, it's certain players are going to be trying to make a last impression to make the roster for certain teams. So, but I mean, at least it'll be football, and we'll see the rookies play. So we'll see how some of these guys are. I don't really expect, in the Hall of Fame game, you're not going to see C.J. Stroud. Probably not going to see Caleb Williams either. You're going to see Tyson Bagent. And is Davis Mills still the backup quarterback for Houston? I think he is. So, that's probably. Or actually, well, I know Case Keenum was on the team last year because they won that game in Tennessee. So that's what you're going to see. But because you would think with the Hall of Fame game that you'd have the starters play, but no, that's not the case. It's just another preseason game. So. But yeah, that's the preseason schedule, and like I said, we're getting closer. We're getting closer, but at the same time, I don't want to rush the summer away. I want to enjoy the summer because once football comes back, that's when the weather changes, and I'm trying to enjoy, the summer. So. But let me know what you guys think about the preseason. And listen, we could be getting only 2 preseason games in the future because if the NFL goes to an 18-game schedule, they're going to knock out a preseason game. And I know there was an article that I was reading. Some of the players are for it. As long as you're adding a game, but you're taking away a game. And it seems like some players are for it, but I know there's some that are probably, maybe not so thrilled about it, but it's more football. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it when talking about the preseason. Again, let me know what you guys think about who are you excited to see make their debut in the preseason. Let me know in the comments. So when we come back from our first break, we will talk about the Cleveland Browns schedule. I'll continue my schedule breakdowns for each team, and we'll talk about them when we come back from our first break. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.